You don't always have to trade to learn from the markets. You can just watch the market and learn something every single day. Hey guys, it's Will. Welcome to the channel. I'm a part-time day trader trying to become a full-time. Sometimes the best thing to do in the market is just be patient, just waiting for setups to happen and not doing anything. Sometimes you take it and you lose. Sometimes you don't take it and you understand why the play happened and why it didn't happen. I'm going to break down this trade for you, even though I didn't take the trade, but I'm going to show you guys why I didn't take the trade and why I should have taken the trade. But even though I did take a trade, I still learned something new. And that's the part of trading. A lot of traders want to take trades every day, but then they lose every day. It's because they're not learning anything from their mistakes. They want to make money so bad, their greed is so bad that they just want to make money. And what they're actually doing is losing money. It's because they're not being patient. And that's the key in today's video. These are my 4 charts that I look at every single day. I look at the QQQ, I look at the SPY, I look at the NASDAQ, and I look at the ES. I already have my levels charted out, but I'm going to show you guys in the bigger time frames where I got these levels. And I'm going to go to my other screen and show you guys the NASDAQ 30-minute chart up here. This is the 30-minute, and this is my time frames. The gray zones is the extended hours and then the after hours. I have this because I want to see where the pre-market is. The pre-market low is right here and right here on the previous days. I look at all the time frames, but most of the times I look at the 30 minutes, the 15 minutes, the 5 minutes, the 2 minutes. It's because I look for the past weeks, the past couple days where the levels have traded. Although 1 hour, 4 hour is really important and the daily, but those are for the bigger time frames or the levels that I haven't reached yet. Like let's say this level right here, I haven't reached it yet, and that's where the major rejections are. And we have to actually see intradays where it rejects, where it holds. So it really depends. But I'm gonna go back to the 30 minutes and show you guys where I got these levels. We see on Friday, which was last week, lows were 19,215. I did have this level at 19,600. Those were my zones. I did not have this level charted before. It's because the pre-market on this level was pretty choppy, so I didn't really want to have an actual level there. But coming in today, this is what I saw. I saw a pre-market lower here. I saw rejections early morning or on Friday, and then later it becomes a support zone right here. And then once it falls back in, it holds again. So that's why I have it zoned there. It's not a huge level, but if it breaks, I know that I could play a retest short off that level. But my major zones will be the high of 19,600 and the low of 19,200. Whichever side breaks, then I do take a long or a short position off those levels. Those will be my major zones. I do also look at the other markets, right? I look at the 4 markets. I make sure they align together. Now I'm gonna go to the ES because I also look at the ES as well. It's not too clear, to be honest. It's a bit different. The zone I had it was 55.20. I had it at 55.20 is because we see support zones here, and then we see rejections on Friday. It holds later. Pre-market, it's a little choppy, but it's still holding here. So if it does break, then I can play a retest short off there. The SPY mimics the ES and the QQQ mimics the NASDAQ. So I try to line them together and also make sure I chart my levels on that level as well. And if it lines properly, then it makes sense for me. So I'm gonna go back to the 2-minute chart and show you guys what happened. We see that it does do a proper break of these levels. It breaks the supply zone, right? It breaks the supply zone. I'm thinking that I could long it. I'm thinking that I could play a long off that level if it does a retest. But I know that this NASDAQ level is really strong. That's why it rejects the market, and I don't take my long position there. If I zoom in a little closer on the ES and the SPY, it could have been a potential break and retest. See how it breaks? It retests this level right here, and I could potentially play along off that level. I know this NASDAQ level is really strong, so I don't take it off that level. If I didn't have the NASDAQ on my charts, I would have lost this position because I would think that this is a strong break and retest right here, but it doesn't show me enough, and that's why I did not take that position. The only reason why I long this market is if it does a break and retest of this supply zone. If it doesn't, then I don't long it. And I only short it if it breaks back below this 469. I could play a retest short, and it'll be the same with the other markets as well. If it aligns, then I'll play a retest short there. But then in the morning, I saw this rejection coming in, false breakout. It breaks up, falls back down, and then when it starts retesting the level, that's when I can play a retest short. I used to do that a lot, but then recently I haven't started doing that. I didn't really want to take it, even though it looked really A+, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. It became a bear flag that looked really good, and I could have taken it off that level. It looks really good, but I did not take a short there. It's because I had a game plan in the morning. I wanted to break this lower here, but it did not really break it. I had 2 options. My first plan was either take the trade, and if I lose or win, whatever happens. My second option was if I didn't take the trade at all and it works out, I would get mad for sure. I can always learn from my mistakes. I can learn from just not taking the trade. If it fails and I know that I didn't take it, I'll be happy, right? My plan was to not to take the trade because I know that it's not following my plan. We're like breaking down this structure. So I was like, I'm not going to take it. And if it does work out, and it did work out like this, it actually did work out beautifully. I am of course a little annoyed because it worked out and I didn't make money. But I learned from it, and next time I'll learn to take the position and not be scared to take it. Imagine it didn't work out, then I would have been happy. It's because it's not my A+ setup. That's why I did not take it. And if the trade doesn't work, then I would have been happy because I didn't lose money and I learned from it again. So once the market did start breaking down a lot, I was like, damn, I should have taken the trade. But then later it goes back up, it starts sliding back up. I'm like, damn, that's good I didn't take the trade. It's because now it feels like it's strong. It feels like this demand zone over here is stepping up and that it can just break back up here and then I could have lost the trade. So basically I was telling myself, I don't really want to get messed up in this chop. It's because it can just play around here all day and it really affects you when you're trading. You can get scared to maybe just sell out early, things like that. So I didn't really want to get messed up, but it did work out. And what can I say? I just trying to be patient. I'm just trying to learn from just watching the market. You don't always have to trade to learn from the markets. You can just watch the market and learn something every single day. I've seen this multiple times, but I still didn't take the trade. But I'm learning from every single trade. I'm learning from every single setup that I see, and eventually it'll pay off in the future when I actually take it. Once the SPY was breaking down, it started coming back up. I was like, maybe this play is dead. But then that's also another entry because you could start seeing more rejections there. That's how it plays games with you a lot. It goes back up. A lot of people get scared, but if it's still under your level, if it's still a valid trade, you have to stay in the trade and it still works out. This whole rejection stems on just this 19,600 on the Nasdaq. Even though it doesn't go back to touch these supply zones on the market, these rejections of the ES is also really big, and I'm gonna show you guys why. I'm gonna go first to the Nasdaq chart and I'm gonna show you guys the 30-minute. I'm actually gonna show you guys the 1 hour. So we see this Nasdaq 19,600. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit to the left, which is this right here is around April, early April. We see rejections right here, rejections. It has small holds here. And then if I zoom out a little further, left side, more holds right here, holds and holds. It's a really strong level. That's why when we got to that level, that's why it's also my 4-hour chart. And it is a really strong level. So if it does break, then I can play along with that level. But as you see, it's not really breaking. I'm gonna go to 4 hour real quick. As you see, it's not really breaking. You can see holds, later rejections, again, rejections right there. You think it's gonna break, but it doesn't break. The market still could be weak. We haven't really gotten anywhere yet, even though it seems like we're back to the uptrend. And I'm gonna show you guys in the ES because the ES shows it a little bit more clear. I'm gonna go to the 4 hour right here. I'm gonna take off this extended hours just to be a little more clear. We can see when the market tanked right at the 55.63 right here. 55.63. This level is 55.63. That was when the biggest rejection came in the market. And if I zoom out further, if I zoom out a little bit, you can see that the market never actually broke above the level ever since that time, which was the early April. It never got back above. And once we finally start getting close to that level, it rejected again. And we aren't in a strong market until it gets back above those rejections because we're still in a big downtrend. As you see also here, you can see 55.63, 55.63 as well. I'm gonna go to the daily chart. The bigger picture of the downtrend is right here. We are still in that downtrend. And until we get back above this 55.63, we aren't gonna be in an uptrend. And this could be the next lower high in the market, and we can just keep going down from here. Going back to the 2-minute chart, the reason why the market's weak today is because the 19,600 rejections right there, even though it broke down the other markets, and it hasn't really rejected back up there. It hasn't really gave you a proper retest of this 19,600. We have other supply zones in the market, which is the SPY and the ES that I was telling you about, the big level, which is the 55.63. Even though it's not like my A+ setup where it breaks down and then I can give it a retest, it does a false breakout and then it falls back down, and then I can wait for a retest of the major rejections on the market, and that can be an A+ setup right there. But later day, it happens. There was another breakdown of this level, which was my other level that I could play the retest short, and I could take it right there, but I was gone. I was not in my computer, and that's why I missed that setup. I wish I took it, but I'm not able to stay in the markets the whole day because I have work or I'm just out, right? Some days I'm able to stay longer in the charts, but most days I'm not, and I just missed the setup, which is sad. And my target for that would have been this demand zone right here on the market. It would have been this 465 on the market, these demand zones. So if I did take it, I would still be in this trade because I will just have to take it around, maybe around here, and I'll still be in the trade. But who really knows? because that's my target. I don't know when it will like hits demand zone. It can take like a couple more hours or until end of the day, but this is why you need to lock in profits. It's because even though this is my demand zones, it hasn't touched it, and maybe it never touches it, and that's why you gotta lock in profits. That's why you gotta scale, and sometimes that's why I sell, because you never know where the low will be. I didn't take any trades today, but I did learn a lot from just being patient and just watching the market. You don't always have to trade every day. One of the weeks I did not even trade at all, and that was just me learning the markets, me watching the markets, me watching the volatility of the markets, and every single condition of the market eventually will pay off in the future when I keep studying them, when I keep just watching the markets every single day. And what I like to say is, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Keep staying disciplined, keep staying consistent, and let's just get 1% better every day. And I'll see you in the next one.